What do you propose to do about climate change?
What do we propose to do about climate change? I propose that I support the legislation in principle, but what I see that we have as a challenge here in Ohio is that so many of the jobs in the utility industry, especially that produce electricity, are dependent upon the coal industry. We have a movement, and a very worthwhile movement, to eliminate our dependence upon coal for the energy. But I've learned, whether it's dealing with children or dealing with employees, that if you take something away and you have nothing to replace it with, you create a terrible amount of unrest. We have such a potential here in the state of Ohio for clean energy technology, whether it's solar, whether it's the production of biodiesel through very unique methods that you see with Red Lion Bioenergy LLC in Toledo, where they take agri-waste like ground up corn cobs and through a non-combustion process using no oxygen but extreme heat, convert it to clean burning diesel fuel. We have the ability to marry agriculture with industry, and whether it's to promote things in the biomedical area or in the clean energy area, what we've got to do in the process is to be moving those new types of jobs into the areas where we may be taking jobs away in order to promote climate change. Experts will tell you that if we move forward with climate change legislation, that we will literally increase our productivity, increase our gross national product, increase the number of jobs. But this again will take courage, because some people, when they can't envision what it will look like, they don't want to embrace it and they're afraid of it. And it will take a lot of discussion and a lot of negotiation and understanding that you make changes in increments, but you do so with a vision.
What will you do about climate change?
It is one of the, if not the, most important issue of our time. The future of our planet, the future of our Mother Earth, what could be more important? And there is no question that global warming is real. It has been scientifically confirmed time after time, and there is no question that we must reduce our carbon footprint and greenhouse gases. But I also do not believe that you do it on the backs of manufacturing states like Ohio. That's wrong. So as we diversify our energy portfolio, and we must and we should and we will, let's also make sure that we have what are called border adjustments, so that those foreign countries like China and others who do not have a cap and trade, do not have a limit on how much carbon you can emit, don't take advantage and be able to produce goods much cheaper because they don't have those additional costs, and ship them in to America, whether it's steel or tires, and put people out of business. It's already happening, and it will accelerate if we don't do that. So I strongly support Senator Sherrod Brown's efforts to lead an effort of Midwestern senators to say, it's a false choice. You can protect manufacturing states and still protect the environment, and we must do both.
What is your opinion of how the Guantanamo detainees should be adjudicated, or do you think they should be detained indefinitely?
They should be detained indefinitely, you said?
Mm-hmm.
No, the Guantanamo situation is untenable. If you think about this, I heard Robert Kennedy Jr. talk about the situation in our relationships with other countries, and especially as to how we treat detainees. As he put it, he said, the United States used to be seen as the shining city on the hill. So if someone was captured in a war situation, they wanted to be captured by the Americans because they knew they would be treated fairly and justly. We have failed miserably at that. And due process is due process. And while it is terrible what someone, if convicted, may have done, the point being is that at some point our citizens could be captured by someone else. And if we mistreat the people in our custody, what is going to stop them from doing the same things to our people? That could be your son, your daughter. We're still in a war situation.
immigration reform that includes a path to citizenship for undocumented immigrants?
I do. We are a nation of immigrants. My grandparents came here from Eastern Europe, and many of you here tonight can tell similar stories. I want to do everything we can to crack down on illegal immigration. I want to make sure that, as Jennifer said, they earn their right to stay here. But we also need to focus on the preservation of families, not tear families apart. And we need to understand that there, but for the grace of God, go on. If we built this country on diversity and immigrants, then I would say to you that we have a chance of building our future the same way. So we need to achieve a balance. We need to crack down on illegal immigration, particularly employers who are hiring undocumented workers. But at the same time, we need to embrace the legal immigration that made America strong and will keep it strong.
Do you support immigration reform that includes a path to citizenship for undocumented immigrants?
Yes, the path to citizenship, it's an earned path to citizenship, and that's what what's in the immigration reform bills. One has been sponsored by Zoe Lofgren, and I believe the other is going to be sponsored soon by Chuck Schumer. But what this looks at is the reality of we have undocumented immigrants already here in the United States. They've started to have families. So if we just have some hard, fast, cold rule that if you're undocumented, you go, we're going to be splitting up families, we're going to be hurting our communities, and if a person is willing to learn English, have a background check that comes out good, and they're willing to work and they're working, they actually may be contributing. Already they're paying taxes, but they can contribute to our communities. The real problem comes at the gateway, and building a wall is not going to do it, but we have to have better procedures and structures in place to control how people enter the country. Once they're here, we've got a problem that we've got to deal with. It's a very emotional issue for people, and it doesn't cut right or left, but the only way I know how to approach it is to make it people-centered and to make it as fair as possible.